This one change has unlocked the Boston Celtics, as Kristaps Porzingis has been that X factor for this Celtics team this year, and I truly think he is the main difference maker on how this team is succeeding. We're going to be diving in, looking at how impactful Kristaps Porzingis has been for the Celtics, but also with helping out in other players as well. All of that and more on this episode of Celtics Digest. I'm Bruce Veliz. But before we dive in on all this Kristaps Porzingis news, 78% of our viewers are not subscribed, and would greatly appreciate it if you hit that big ol' red subscribe button and join the Celtics Digest family. To the thousands of you guys who watch our videos every single day and want to make sure you stay up to date on daily Boston Celtics content and coverage, this is the place for you. Hit that subscribe button. Without further ado, let's dive into all of this Boston Celtics news. Make sure to grab a snack, as it is going to be a jam-packed episode as we dive in exploring Kristaps Porzingis being the Celtics X Factor. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys. Marcus Smart was my favorite Boston Celtic before he left, and I was devastated to see him go and bring in Kristaps Porzingis. But it has done a complete 180 on me after seeing Kristaps Porzingis arrive and thrive for this Celtics squad. If we want to look at his stats, we can see 20 points, 7 total rebounds, 2 assists on 53% shooting, 37% shooting from 3, and 86% from the free throw, and he's truly been a game changer for this team, being a total force and bringing that versatility that the Celtics needed. Now, if you did not know this, the Boston Celtics were one of the worst low post scoring teams last season, and this year they've changed that drastically. By adding Kristaps Porzingis, we have 3 times more plays in the post, with number 1 in effectiveness and number 2 in efficiency. The Boston Celtics are desperately looking to go that route, and we saw that in last game versus the Philadelphia 76ers, where we saw without Joel Embiid and the Celtics not being able to take a lot of three-pointers and not being able to make them a much, they were able to attack the paint and dominate with Kristaps Porzingis and the Jaylen Brown combination. This new duo of cookies and cream has really made me ecstatic, as we get to see Jaylen Brown be an effective scorer for this Celtics squad and get to utilize his style of offense. We got to see him use that transition game, and I think him and Kristaps Porzingis work well off each other and they do wonders. But Kristaps Porzingis can also do that with everybody on the squad, working well off with Jayson Tatum, working well off with Jrue Holiday. He brings that versatility that the Celtics have yet to see since Kevin Garnett, and he adds that presence of a dynamic big man that the Celtics, like I mentioned, have yet to see since Kevin Garnett. We want to dive in looking at his advanced stats to look at all the measurables. He's doing absolutely everything terrific for this squad. 92% true shooting, really excelling in free throw percentage, excelling in load, creation, portability, a top 93% crafted offensive playmaker for this Celtics squad in advanced stats, but he's not also dominating on that offensive side of the ball. He's also carrying on that defensive side of the ball, dominating in defensive rebounds, rim defense, rim frequency, and being a top 91 percentile defender. I honestly really like the addition of Kristaps Porzingis, as he's added so much to this squad. Obviously, he replaces guys in Grant Williams and Robert Williams, who I think were very similar to him. The only problem that I see with Kristaps Porzingis, he doesn't have that offensive rebounding that Robert Williams has, but Brad Stevens can find that in some other guys. But Kristaps Porzingis has been able to be that rim protector that Robert Williams was, but also be able to stretch out to that three-pointer and be able to shoot. As we know, Robert Williams could not do that. They do have some injury history, both of them, but we've seen Kristaps Porzingis be able to maintain his injuries and be able to stay a little bit healthier with his injuries. And we've yet to see the Celtics have a dominant big man be able to control the game like this. But I'm not the only one that agrees and thinks that Kristaps Porzingis has been this X factor, has been this dominating force for the Celtics, as we have 2 ex-NBA players that think likewise as well. If you want to dive in, looking at JJ Redick, talks about how great Kristaps Porzingis has been for the Celtics and that he's unlocked their team. JJ Redick also mentions that Brad Stevens could earn Executive of the Year for pulling off these fantastic trades to nab a guy in Kristaps Porzingis. We'll be diving in, looking at that in a little bit. But also wanted to mention how ex-NBA player Danny Green cemented how important Kristaps Porzingis was to the Boston Celtics on WEEI Boston Sports Radio, which you can catch this YouTube video there. It's a 12-minute video, skimmed to the last 9 minutes. The last 3 minutes, he mainly talks about Kristaps Porzingis, basically iterating the same thing that I mentioned, saying that he's their true true X factor for this Celtics squad, and having him is able to help you out versus teams like the Denver Nuggets when you get to the playoffs or get to the finals, because being able to run those double big lineups with Al Horford and Kristaps Porzingis will drastically help you out compared to last season when you had with being able to run off of those guys. And I truly agree. Kristaps Porzingis has been able to help all these guys being able to excel, especially himself, like we mentioned. He is dominating the score sheet, and he doesn't want to be that number one guy. We've seen him be that number one guy in multiple other places, but him being that second, third guy on every given night is what he wants. He wants to win a championship. He's going to embrace his role, and he's doing that perfectly for this Celtics squad. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below of how impactful you guys have seen Kristaps Porzingis, because truly, I think he is the difference maker for this Celtics squad this year. And let's dive in looking at how Brad Stevens was able to pull off this fantastic trade to nab a great successful player in Kristaps Porzingis. If we want to look at the trade that happened down last summer, the Celtics gave up Marcus Smart, Danilo Gallinari, Mike Muscala, and the 35th pick in the 2023 NBA draft to nab 10 picks higher in the draft at number 25, a future first, and Kristaps Porzingis. Now, obviously, Kristaps Porzingis, Marcus Smart, both of those guys have had injury issues in the past. Marcus Smart suffering it a little bit harsher this year compared to Kristaps Porzingis, but Kristaps Porzingis is way better offensively than a guy than Marcus Smart. Obviously, they're both excelling defensively, Marcus Smart being a Defensive Player of the Year candidate finalist a couple years ago. So it is, kind of comparable on the defensive side, but Marcus Smart, a little bit struggling with his shot, had to kind of get his numbers up with a guy like Jrue Holiday, who the Celtics kind of have now already. You don't really see that much. So adding Kristaps Porzingis for that was wonderful. Obviously, guys in Muscala and Gallinari, we've seen them get waived, kind of go to other contenders, and the Celtics have kind of figured out already those issues in guys like Hauser, Brissett, and even Luke Kornet to fill those roles. We want to keep diving in and talking more about how the Celtics have been able also to secure some great deals. They got Jordan Walsh with that 25th overall pick, trading back down, and then were able to secure second-round picks for the future to acquire guys like Tillman and to acquire guys Jaden Springer at this trade deadline. We also want to keep diving in and looking at these trades. The Celtics used that first-round pick via the Warriors to acquire Jrue Holiday, which I don't know if the Celtics would have been able to acquire Jrue Holiday without that first-round pick, but it does seem necessary that the Celtics needed Kristaps Porzingis to be able to facilitate those trades and get those deals done so that the Celtics could win this offseason. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, how impactful you've seen Kristaps Porzingis be, because I truly think he is this difference maker for the Celtics squad. He elevates guys like Jaylen Brown, like Jayson Tatum in their games, also makes the Celtics look complete with their starting five, and I think when we dive into the playoffs and get closer and closer to the end of the regular season, we're going to see Kristaps Porzingis truly showcase what it means to be a difference maker for this squad. Like I mentioned, if you guys are new here, want to make sure you stay up to date on daily Boston Celtics content and coverage, breaking down key important players like this. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, as this is the place for you. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of Celtics Digest, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.